Some crazy things have happened in the last 24 hours, and today we're going to be looking into exactly what has happened. Now imagine this, it's a formal dinner in Washington. Politicians, journalists, cameras everywhere. One of those polished, controlled environments where nothing unexpected is supposed to happen. And then suddenly we get gunfire. Not rumours, not speculation, actual shots fired outside the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Now, Secret Service agents did move in instantly and Donald Trump was rushed out. The entire event was shut down within moments. And people inside didn't even fully understand what's happening yet. Just confusion, movement and tension. Now here's the part that makes this more than just another incident. This wasn't some distant threat. This happened right outside a high security political event with one of the most protected figures in the world present. And now reportedly, one agent did take a hit, but thankfully he was protected. But that alone tells you how real the situation actually was. And this suspect is actually in custody, but the bigger picture isn't what just happened. It's how did it get that close? Because moments like this, they shake confidence. They raise uncomfortable questions about security, about political tensions, and about how heated things have actually become. And whether you support Trump or not, that kind of situation hits a nerve globally. Now let's zoom out for a second, because whilst that's unfolding in the US, the rest of the world isn't exactly calm either. And let's start with Ukraine. So over the last day, Russian strikes have continued. Missiles, drones, the same pattern we've seen for months now. Civilians are still being killed and cities are still being hit. And what's striking here isn't just the attacks, it's a lack of change. No breakthrough, no ceasefire, just a steady grinding war that keeps taking lives while the rest of the world slowly gets used to it. And that is actually the dangerous part, when something this serious becomes normal. And then there is Gaza. I will show you the video, but it's very explicit, so if you want to check it out yourselves, you can. But I'm not going to, because it's pretty, it's a bit brutal, but yeah, you might hear this, word ceasefire currently around this whole situation, floating around, but on the ground, it's the same thing. The word doesn't mean anything, and that word doesn't mean what people think it means. Strikes are still happening, people are still dying, and the broader regional tension, especially involving neighbouring areas, are still very much alive. So it's a very strange situation where officially things are cooling down, but in reality, they're not whatsoever. And then we get to what might be the most unpredictable situation right now, Iran. Now tensions around Iran, the US and the key global trade routes, especially that Strait of Hormuz, are still simmering. Now this matters actually more than people realise, because this narrow stretch of water is actually a huge portion of the world's oil supply. Now any serious disruption there doesn't just stay regional. It hits global markets, economies, well, and everything. And now add this to the mix. Diplomatic efforts aren't stabling things. In fact, some have stalled. So what you're left with is a situation where tensions remain high, communication is shaky, and military positioning hasn't relaxed. That's a kind of setup where things don't necessarily explode immediately, but they can escalate very fast if something tips that balance. So when we put all of this together, here's what the last 24 hours actually look like. In the United States, you've got a major security scare involving a former and possibly future president. In Europe, a war that continues with no real sign of stopping. In the Middle East, multiple overlapping conflicts that are still active despite talks of peace. And globally, a general sense that nothing is really de-escalating right now. But here's the part we're thinking about. None of these situations on their own necessarily mean something massive is about to happen tomorrow. It's a combination that matters. Multiple tensions, multiple regions, all active at the same time. And that is actually when things do become unpredictable. So if you're asking, has anything interesting happened in the last 24 hours? Yes, actually a lot. Now, not in the same sense of one single world-changing event, but in the sense that overall temperature of the world feels like it's rising. And sometimes it's not the explosion that matters the most, it's the build-up right before it. So if you're watching closely, keep your eyes on these three things going forward. First, any new details about the shooting incident, especially how it happened. Now second, whether US-Iran tensions move toward confrontation or back toward diplomacy. And thirdly, whether any of these ongoing wars show even the smallest real sign of slowing down. Because right now, everything is still in motion. And that's what makes this worth watching. Now make sure you guys check out Evedex in the description below, which is a fully decentralized exchange that you can use for all of your trading. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest upcoming videos, because there'll be a lot of interesting things happening very soon. Hit that like button, it would be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.